Well, a while back, if you'll recall, at the beginning of the year, I needed to clean out my coolant tank before I started my machining on my injection molding machine. And so at that time, I realized that it'd be a good idea to have a skimmer. And so I started researching around, and they range in price from 180 bucks on up. I got to looking at it and I thought, wow, I think I could build one cheaper than that. I didn't think too much of it. I kind of put that to the side because I was busy with other projects. And then a few months later, in the Skype group that I'm a member of, there was some discussion about skimmers and whether or not you could make them cheaper, or just you'd be better off just to buy one. So that kind of got me looking back into it, and I started researching the parts. Decided, you know what, this is a nice little project, so I think I'll just build my own. And so that's what I did. I ordered all the pieces, and it was quite a bit cheaper to go ahead and do this myself. But I did all the machining and the assembly, so let's take a look at some of that video. This is our main box. This is a 4" by 3" box. We're going to be doing some holes here to mount the motor and the arm. So let's get started. Well, alright, pretty straightforward. I'm going to get this out, and now we're going to machine the side of the base for our switch and our wiring to go into. That wasn't supposed to happen. Forgot to turn the coolant off for that operation. What a mess. can see we got a mess here now. That's exactly why I love this label right here. Anyways, we've got it finished, so let's get it out and we'll take a look. Alright, so we have our box here. We can see that I've got my wiring grommet in there, and then we've got our slot for our switch here on the side, and we're just going to pop that in there, just an on and off switch like so. Then we have our top with our motor, and it's going to fit in there like this. It'll be bolted down. Then we've got our arm that's going to go right here. So next we need to work on a back plate to bolt our arm through the plastic here. Alright, we're just going to drill a couple holes and do some thread milling, so let's get started. Pretty straightforward. Let's get that out. We'll take a look. Alright, that's for an M5. Alright, that's good. Alright, so here are all the parts that we're going to need for our skimmer. We've got our belt, a couple of pulleys, our arm, motor, and box, a switch, and a grommet for our wiring. So the first thing we need to do is we need to thread these holes on the motor, which I've already done, and now we just need to start putting some of this stuff together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mount our motor. Now we can install our pulley. This pulley has a flat, and also the shaft has a flat. So we're just going to slide it down till it bottoms out. Tighten up the set screws. Next we want to assemble our arm. We have a nut plate on the back for our arm. We have slots in the arm here. This gives us a little belt adjustment. So we're just going to snug these up. We won't tighten them down at this point. Now you can see that the pulley's up above the plate here and the arm. So what we need to do is we need to have our second pulley spaced the same amount. So I'm going to get a measurement here and then machine a little spacer. Okay, so we've got our drive pulley and our idler pulley installed on the arm. You can see we have a small spacer here. That way we keep the belt parallel to the arm here. We've got it tensioned up, but it's still fairly loose, and we'll probably have to adjust it a little bit more when we get the scraper assembly on here. But you can see the adjustment slots there. There's a little bit of room to loosen it or extend it if we need to. The next thing we need to do is we just need to wire the motor up. Now we're going to be wiring it up with a little on-off switch. And this is just a 110 volt motor. It has 3 terminals here. So we have counterclockwise, clockwise, and then our neutral. So what I'm going to do is, I have some of these old monitor cords. I'm just getting rid of the old monitor. I saved these, and so I have quite a few of these. I'm just going to snip this off. We're going to wire it through the grommet in the hole here. We're going to wire one side to the switch and the other side to the motor, and that should cover the wiring. Then we can go ahead and work on the mounting bracket and the scraper assembly. Okay, so we want to make sure that we cut the correct end. So this is the side we're going to be removing. We'll leave as much cable as possible. And then I'm going to skin this back a good bit, because we're going to use some of this wire to go from the switch to the motor. If you have some extra wiring laying around, you can use that. I'm just going to use this same wire. We are going to switch the positive with a hot wire. I'm going to run this, go ahead and run this through the grommet in the box here. There is a little screw here. This box is plastic, so there's no really good way to ground it. We can ground it to one of these nut plates if we wanted to, or the motor here would be better to ground it right there. This is an M5, so we can just put a crimp connector with a ring there and throw a nut on there. The first thing I want to do is just go ahead and wire this up and make sure that the motor actually works. So I'm just going to strip the 2 ends off and put some, I'm going to put some wire terminals on the end. Okay, and so the directions say that we have counterclockwise, clockwise, and neutral. So I'm going to try clockwise first, and we'll just see what we got. Small screwdriver. Okay. And our ground. Neutral. Okay. Neutral will hold off to the side. Our ground will hold off to the side now. So I'm just going to plug this in. We'll see what we got. Alright, she's moving. And for our particular application, it's going in the wrong direction, so we need to wire it up counterclockwise. So that's why we test it. So we're just going to move our positive over to the counterclockwise terminal. Alright, so we're going to also have to move the neutral wire for clockwise to the first two terminals, like so. Alright. So for counterclockwise, we have to have the first two terminals connected, so let's check that out. Alright. And so it'll bring it up and over, and it's going to scrape on this side, so that's good. You don't need it to go fast. We're just trying to collect the oil and skim it. Okay, so now that we have it wired up, we know how to wire it up, and we know the motor works. We can go ahead and what we're going to do is we're going to take the positive, we're going to split it, run it to the switch, and then back out the line. Okay, so I've made up a little cable to go over to our switch here. So what we're going to do is we need to now just disconnect our positive here. We're done testing. We know that that's the right terminal. That's the right wiring. We can pull that out. I'm going to cut this off. Strip it back a little bit. Man, it sounds like spring out there. But it's the fall. Okay. I'm going to put a crimp connector here, a spade. Well, I guess that's a female. Okay. So one side and then the other, and then I'm also going to strip this ground back here. I'm just going to put a ring on here, and we're going to run that on one of these motor bolts on, just in case. Okay. Alright. Now we can button up all this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the switch in. Alright, I guess we can put this anywhere. Let's put it up top so it's kind of out of our way here. Can you see that? So I just got over that loop, and let's see if I can drop that one there. Okay, so now we have our ground connected, and all we have left is our two positives, and we're just going to connect those to the switch here. Pull some of this cable through. Oh, it's hard to see, I know, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to see too. But we're just going to connect these two up. There we go. Now we got those connected, we can pull this extra cable in here out of the way. And pull some more. And button this up. Oh yeah. Put the little rubber gromming in there. Now this particular box came with these keyed Okay. This lid does have like a waterproof seal on here, but which is good, but I'm not so sure how waterproof it's going to be. All right, that is all pretty much done. Let's get the cover over here. Lock this wire in place. Plug it up and test it. Here we go. It's moving at about 15 RPMs. And that's all we need. So we're going to mount our scraper here. We've got to get that figured out. It's just going to be a sheet metal, and it'll just slightly press on this, and as it goes down it'll scrub this. Alright, so one of the last things we needed to do for the skimmer was some sheet metal stuff. So I reached out to a buddy of mine, Wyatt. He kind of does all my sheet metal stuff, so showed him the drawings and he did this sheet metal work for me. So here is the stainless steel trough. He welded a nice barb on the end here so we can just kind of hook a hose to it and let it run into a bucket or something. Really, he did a really nice job with this. So this is our wiper. These are stainless steel. And then this is our foot. At the same time, since I was having this sheet metal work done, went ahead and made the arms out of stainless steel. It adds a lot more strength. There's not really any flex at all in this 1/8 inch stainless steel arm. And he also welded on a nut here for me. Really, that was the last thing we needed to do to complete the skimmer. So this is the finished skimmer. You can see how the wiper mounts on there and the foot. Inside the box here there's a couple of brass thread certs, and so I just drilled through the box and we're just screwed right into those. The foot is adjustable, and you can turn the foot 180 so that it mounts up under the box here. Depending on your particular circumstances or situation. The belt's not real tight. And so you can kind of see how it's going to work there. I think it's going to work out just fine. So when you're doing a project like this, it's hard to just build one. So I ended up building a couple of these. I sent one to my buddy Wyatt for all his help with the sheet metal work. I ended up with enough parts to make 5 of these. So I have 3 of these that I'm going to offer. If you're interested in one of the 3 that I have left, you can shoot me an email. It'll probably be $125 plus shipping, maybe $10 shipping, something like that. So yeah, if you're interested in one of these skimmers, let me know. Yeah, it turned out really nice. Really satisfied with the way it turned out overall. Guys, if you're new to my channel and you're just tuning in, you can click on that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. Also click on that notification bell. That way when I post a new video like this one, they'll send you a link. If it's something you're interested in, you can stop by and check it out. As always, please feel free to ask questions, make suggestions, or leave comments. Thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe, and most importantly, be safe.